Good to go.
Welcome to another episode of Addicted to the Q. Let's try that again. I'm hitting shit. Stuff. Already.
Addicted to the Q after dark already.
Welcome to another episode of Addicted to the Q. I'm Brian, Sofa King Awesome Barbecue. We've got Brad, Meets My Mistress. We're both part of Addicted to the Q. We've got, not with us today, the bum, Kevin Hesse. He is on a work trip or on his way back from a work trip. And our special guest tonight is the fisherman himself, Mr. Ken North.
Hey.
How you doing, Ken?
Man, I'm doing great.
or should we call you the barbecue guy now?
I don't care. I've been called a lot of things. It don't matter. Man, I'm so stoked to be on here with you guys. I've been fishing for the last 2 months almost, hard, trying to win $1 million. There's a competition we entered, started April 1st, goes through July 4th. And I have spent so much time on the water trying to catch one of those tagged fish that has my name on it. Anyway, we're eating good and putting a lot of fish in the freezer too. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
You just did a cook. I saw you posted something with fish on.
I did. We got in yesterday. We had 20 bass. You can keep 10 per person. The rest of them we threw back, and they were all legal. I promise. They were all within the right size limits. But anyway, so we cooked them up. We filleted, cooked them up, froze a lot of them, and my friend from Biloxi, Mississippi, brought some Gulf shrimp just fresh off the boat to me. And I said, well, we're fixing to grill, instead of fry. And I'm always frying, but I was like, you know what, we're going to grill this time. And I made a homemade remoulade. Let me tell you what, guys, I ate the remoulade in my salad today, of course, with leftover shrimp, but it was so good, and of course, I'm using my rubs. I used the seafood rub and the Cajun rub in those, and man, it was so good, so flavorful.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the rubs. How many do you have, and how did those come about?
It's kind of hard to say exactly how it came about, but it got to the point where I couldn't buy what I wanted anymore, and the flavor profiles. And so I wound up mixing rubs and stuff and trying to find that exact flavor that I was looking for. When I finally found it, I had made it myself. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this, and I can experiment, and I've got all the time in the world to do it. So I sat down and got a hold of a spice company, a really large spice company, and ordered hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of spices and started doing concoctions and doing different ones and running them past friends and family and neighbors and saying, here, taste this raw. Here, now I want you to taste it cooked. And we would do taste tests and all that stuff. And I guess if you're in the corporate world, they call that R&D. Okay. Me, it was just, I'm still just having fun. Anyway, so barbecue guy came out. I was actually thinking about doing a food truck. And when I got to looking at the cost of a food truck, I'm like,
you're a quarter of the way there right now.
Yeah, Doug, keep reminding me of that. So I'm like, you know what? I enjoy cooking so much, and this gives me the opportunity to, and I can't eat that much food. But everybody says, Ken, what do you do with the food you're cooking? How do you afford all that food you're cooking? I ain't worried about the money, honestly. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy putting smiles on people's faces, and giving them something good to eat that I don't charge for, Now, doing that has really gotten me a lot of business coming in. I don't have a catering license or anything like that, but I've got friends and family at holidays say, hey, I need a couple Boston butts. I need a couple briskets. I need 150 chicken legs, et cetera, et cetera. I've done a couple weddings, and they love the food. So I'm like, you know what? Well, if they love the food that much, I'm going to start making my own rubs, and I'm going to put these on my own food. And I wasn't actually going to do a business with it, but I'm like, why not? You know? So, Barbecue Guy was created because that was going to actually be my catering food truck.
Yeah. How long were you playing with these rubs before you decided, like, hey, let's do something with them?
About 2 months. Honestly, probably 2 months. I started back, I say 2 months. I've been making rubs for a long time, but I decided to get really serious with it back in January. So that's been what, 4 months, 4.5 months, 5 months, something like that. Started getting real serious with it and started trying the different profiles. And over the years, I've developed the exact taste that I want for chicken. The same what I want for turkey, what I want for seafood. And I grew up in the South. We eat well down here, and we eat a lot of Cajun food, a lot of stuff like that. So, Brad, to go back to your question, I've got a Cajun rub and a seafood rub that are out of this world. And the veggie rub, and I'll tell you what started the veggie rub. And you asked me how many I had. I've got 6. I'm working on a sugar-free one right now. And because there's so many friends that have come to me and said, hey, I'm on keto, I'm diabetic. Can you develop a sugar-free? So before I left to come fishing this week in Alabama, I made a sugar-free rub for one of my friends that was here who can't have the sugar. And he put it on his eggs in the morning. Okay. It was that good. I mean, everything he ate, he was sprinkling it on there. And I said, you're using the sugar-free. He says, I know, that's what I wanted, So I'm like, because all the other stuff had a lot of flavor too. Anyway, so 7 rubs, I think, is where I'm going to stop it for a little while until I can get into production. And so right now it's still a dream, but it's coming together because I've got all my stuff, all my registrations, all my red tapes and all that stuff done, governments and all that stuff, the IRS, the state tax commission, all that stuff. I'm actually I've been to 2 co-packers. Brian, you've been such a great guy and mentor to me, helping me out with this. That one of the co-packers for the rubs that you suggested to me is actually who I'm going with now, and they're in Missouri.
Yep.
And I don't know if I can mention names or not, but
McCarthy.
Yes, McCarthy, and Emily and Eric have been amazing to me, and they've recommended another guy to do the labels for me and the bottling and the UPC label or the code and all that stuff. So we're rolling. I'm just right now, as a matter of fact, this week, I'm headed back home, and the rubs final version, so hopefully, from McCarthy, this will be the second run, will be at the house waiting for me.
The difference with the co-packers to like us when we first start the trial on it, which
Sure.
Actually, I'll go get it. Brad, ask a question.
He's going to get something. You never know what's going to happen on Addicted to the Q interviews.
Sometimes you got to go.
That's right. Well, I think he's going to go grab a bottle of rub, I think.
I know.
What made you decide to go with the co-packer route versus mixing them yourself?
And I'm back. I should have been Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so if we can get it. So there you go. You see it?
I see a bottle, but I can't really read it.
Pecan.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm still waiting on my sample. Yep, there it is. It says Ken North on it. Damn it.
Well,
hey, Have you lost my thank you, Brian. Have you
White
lost my
noise.
address?
Those rubs are both.
Just message me your address again. But those were yours. I was wondering why they were sitting there. But
I'm
Brian,
really excited to try that.
Brian, how long have I known you? Like 3 years, 3.5 years?
Not long enough.
I still send you my address every time.
I know. The pecan is, homemade. To go into a co-packer is just like, what are we missing? I sat there and watched you put everything in it that I had in it. But it's the way they purchase 10,000 pounds,
Right.
at a time compared to us when we're buying a bag. It's a whole different flavor profile.
Sure.
Because they're getting the whole field of paprika that was ground down compared to like Walmart. Walmart will get the whole field, but they divide that whole field into sections.
Right.
So, but that's why it could take 2, 3, 4 runs. Pecan, run 8, and it's finally, I think, happening.
You know,
what you ended up with?
Say that again, Brad.
You ended up with 8 runs on that pecan?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was 6 runs into it before it started going out. And then the one at the high school, that was our last run. And I think I might do one more and lower the ratio of the pecan in it. I don't know. It's already dropped a lot now, and I think it's money. We might do it again, though. I don't know. The white noise, I'm telling you what, I'm not saying everything that's in it, but I added a little bit more back end of 2 things in it. And let's just say that I got a bunch of SCA guys that are going to try running it this year.
Cool.
Which is good. I mean, that's what it's for. I got 15 people that I want to run it and test it for a year and let me know what they think at comps. And then, I got this guy in Mississippi. I want him to try them. As long as he doesn't reverse engineer them like my top secret I know he's trying to do and put a barbecue guy logo on
Look,
it.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you, I would never do that, but I love that top secret.
Hey, I'll white label it for you. I'll just sell you
There you,
pounds and you can label it.
Wait till you taste the pecan one. I love Top Secret, and that blows that one out of the water.
Really, you're kidding me. So the top secret had something in it, and I still haven't identified it, but I've never had a rub before that had pecan in it. So I'm really, really interested in trying that and seeing what it does. What do you like to use it on, Brian?
Right now, I've used it on burgers. I've used it on, what did I just cook with it? Pulled pork was my recent one. Brad's used it on ribs and one with ribs.
Cool.
So I used it on ribs. I didn't win. I way overcooked my ribs.
Look at him. He's showing off.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Good
The
stuff.
rest of my awards are in my son's room. I told him keeping that one. That was 3 years coming. I was keeping that one.
Heck yeah. There you go.
So let's go back to my question.
Sure.
What made you decide between going straight to a co-packer or just bottling them yourself, like some people do when they first start?
did you not hear the part that he's fishing every day till July 4th?
I actually, that's funny. So, Brad, I decided to go with a co-packer just to take the time off my hands.
Yeah.
I need as much time as I can get doing other things, marketing and stuff like that, distribution, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's more costly, obviously, but I started out when I started making these rubs using Walmart and Kroger brand ingredients. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go to another company, and I'll tell you who. It was Great American Spice Company.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered a crap load. I still have so much stuff doing all the experiments. And I sent all this stuff off. I actually made my own, sent it to McCarthy, and it came back, and it was really weird. The flavor profile was exactly what I was looking for, what I had made using the Great American Spice rubs and stuff, or not rubs, but their spices and seasonings. But when I went to use them outside in the outdoor kitchen in the wind, they blew all over the place. So that's why I went back to McCarthy and said, we need to weigh this down some. Let's go granulated versus powder.
Mm-hmm.
So all my recipes that I had made was powder because that was what was readily accessible to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any better other than when I saw the granulated sugar, which I love. Most of the recipes or rubs have that in them, a certain amounts and degrees. But so I said, can you give me a heavier rub with, granulated? And they said, yeah, we can. I said, all right. Well, they said they'll have it to me this week. So,
awesome.
Yeah. So
I got granular, mostly in that granulated brown sugar. So
right.
it's the balls, the pellets. This white one, I don't know if you want to do that in the wind. There is powder in with it.
Right.
I'm excited for you to try them out.
I'm excited because, I'm going to be straight up with you and say, oh, this is good, or this is no good, or this is the bomb, And if it's better than mine, I'm just going to quit. I'm so happy for your success. I really am. You busted butt.
I need to retire so I can focus on it.
Well, I'll tell you, if I wasn't, there's no way I could do it. Yeah.
Well, there's a way. My wife and I are trying to figure it out, but we're and I'm not going to say it here to where everybody is going to find out. Brad knows we're looking at trying to figure a plan out to move. That way I can sell my pest control stuff and all that here, move to a new location outside of the Midwest,
yeah.
And get something started along the barbecue line where I can focus on selling it all.
Yeah.
I just don't want to say where because I don't want somebody to take my idea and bam, next thing you know, if I don't go for 2 years, there's a store there when I head back to go find a house.
Well, that's smart. Keep it close to the vest as long as you can.
Yep.
That's like me with, my thoughts. Everybody keeps asking about it. And I'm like, I along with Uncle Sam, it's a time thing. And I just, between kids, work, Addicted to the Q, after dark work, and everything else, like I'm pretty much got about a full-time job. I need to make another batch coming up. And then trying to get a commercial kitchen all set up and everything else.
Yeah, and that was another thing to answer your question going back is that I didn't want to be responsible for killing somebody. Not really killing somebody, but I wanted a certified lab kitchen, whatever, that is FDA approved, because food industry is a risky business,
Yeah.
And I just, if there happened to be a piece of metal in a rub or something, and it didn't even come from me, came from somewhere else, that puts all the responsibility and liability on me. And I'm like, no, I'm going to let somebody else do this that does it professionally and is certified to do it. It was just a matter of finding the right one, and I think I have. So
you can't go live with them until you give me a bottle, though.
Yeah,
definitely. As soon as they only send you samples, so you can only get so much,
Do they do when they send you? Is it like a bottle sample, or because the guy that I was going to go with before McCarthy, when I found them, they were giving us like 1 pound batches.
No, I'm getting it's probably a 12-ounce bag.
Yeah.
From McCarthy.
Yeah, so it's like a big bottle. Sample it out. Try.
Yeah, and so what I've been doing is I've actually, proof is in the pudding. I'm going to show you something. I don't know if you can see this or not. That's going to be my bottle for my beef. Let's see this way.
Okay. Yep.
I like that.
And so, and of course, it got all the other stuff on it. But what I've done is I've taken like from the previous co-packer and this co-packer, and then from my original samples that I sent to McCarthy, I've got so many bottles of rubs, and I'm having to keep them all separate so I can say, okay, well, this was this one. This is where we started. This is where we went to, and this is where we are now. And I can see and taste the difference in each one that they got better. So, as far as the bottling and everything goes, I'm trying to remember the name. Prestige, I think it is. They're in St. Louis. They're just, from what I understand, right up the street from Emily and Eric over at McCarthy. And he's going to do the bottles, the labels, the UPC code, and all that stuff for me. And he'll send all that over to McCarthy. McCarthy will fill them and ship them to me. That's where I'm as nervous as I think I've ever been in my life is, how am I going to get all this stuff out and distributed?
Yeah.
I'm feeling I'm fixing to be on the road quite a bit. I could hire a distributor, do direct or indirect. I don't know the cost associated honestly yet.
Yeah.
I'm fixing to find out.
Neither do I. I'm really interested in hiring a distributor, but I just haven't looked into it. I figured that'd be my way to go right now.
I've got two other friends in Mississippi that are actually have their own rub companies and sauce companies, and they do their own. And I can tell you, it'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are burning up the roads, and they're all over the place. They're doing shows. They're doing every weekend. They're running 3-4 different states.
Yep.
Getting into grocery stores and farmers markets and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, let's get the product first, then we can decide exactly. I'm really thinking about doing mostly online sales. Amazon. I've been looking at those and the social media links and stuff, and let people just buy from my store.
Yeah.
But I will be doing shows and taste testings and all that stuff just to promote the product.
Speaking of which, I got my little blue book here. I'm writing your name down for my business idea. You got a store if I ever get a store going.
Heck yeah. Well, and that's a good thing too, because I know a lot of people that own restaurants and stores and stuff. So they've already came to me and said, "Hey, you can put your stuff in our place." So
Nice.
that's going to help some get me kicked off. But like I said, I'm very nervous about the beginning or getting it out there.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I think, the hardest part.
Like my idea that I have, I mean, of course, I want it to be like a brick and mortar or something. But
Sure.
everyone I carry, I'm going to tell everyone, hey, send me an extra bottle. I'm going to utilize your stuff. It's going to be this weekend. If you'd like to come out and promote your own stuff, by all means, do it. But I'm cooking with your stuff this weekend. We're going to plaster it on, social media, out front of the door, let everybody know that goes by what's going on.
That's amazing, because one of my ideas that I had was to do something very similar, but not my own brick and mortar. I was going to go, there's a couple places locally that I wanted to just go through them, and I'm going to as soon as I get, everything formalized. But I'm going to go and cook for them and say, I would like to use the front of your store, and I'll set up a booth, a tent, and all that stuff. Free samples for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Come and enjoy good barbecue, and sponsored by me.
Yeah.
And if they like it, it's for sale. It's right there in the store. And I'm hoping that that'll bring these places a lot more business as well.
Yeah.
And they're killing it as it is, but nobody's done anything like this around here. So I'm hoping that I can get some interest going, and it's not going to cost them a dime.
I mean, we're in the heart of barbecue area up here. The stores up here do things like that. Where I want to go, they don't have barbecue. They have a couple restaurants.
That's about
So I'm
where.
like, if I can do that at my store, shoot.
Yeah. There was a place, one place that opened that was barbecued near us. And I'm not even going to say who they were because it's not nice to talk bad about people, but it wasn't any good, And another place just opened up a few months ago, and I went in there and they were just starting out. And I said, look, I don't want a brisket plate. I don't want a pork plate. I don't want this. I want all of it. I want the whole platter. I want a sampler platter. So they now have a sampler platter on their menu, okay, for people like me that want to try everything to see what you like the best. So I'm going to tell you something. The two owners came over to me and they said, so what do you think? They didn't know me from Adam. And I said, do you want me to be honest with you? I said, you did this wrong, you did this wrong, you did this wrong. You need to learn how to cut a brisket. You don't put a bunch of barbecue sauce on your brisket. You don't. I just went down the line for them. They asked, okay? That night that they went in there and incorporated the changes that I told them that what was wrong. And they came back out and said, we fixed this problem. I've become really good friends with these guys now. And I'm hoping to get my product into their restaurant,
That's awesome.
So, but I wasn't at the time. I wasn't thinking, thinking, hey, I could get, this is a business opportunity. This was just you asked me what I think about something, I'm going to tell you, So I did. And they happen to be some of the nicest people, most humble, people, Christian people that I've ever met, especially that run a business. But now you go in there, their stuff is straight. It is the best around. Everybody says, well, hey, go to this place. I'm like, no, go to this place. They've got their stuff together. So it's really nice to see that we have a good barbecue place in my local town now,
Are they going to put a neon sign picked over by Ken North?
It's so funny. They did a burger competition, eating competition there not long ago, and I had to go watch. I couldn't enter it. There's no way. I think they had 14 patties stacked up on his face. It was I think it was 4 or 5 pounds of burger, and a whole plate of fries and everything. And I went over to the owner as I was leaving, and I said, hey, I just want to tell you, thank you for doing this, and congratulations on your success, because they're really good. And he said, Kenny said, you're a big part of this. And that made me feel really good because I got on social media and blew them up, So they were very, very pleased, and I was very pleased. So hopefully we'll have a good relationship in the future for business,
Yeah, definitely.
Well, what I always say is you don't know what you don't know. So until somebody tells you that this is
that's true,
a better way of doing it, and they could have looked at you and been like, screw you, this is our restaurant, we're going to do it the way we want to do it and be done with it.
I went back in there probably a week or two later and brought them a garlic and onion marmalade. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't come up with the recipe. Emeril Lagasse did, okay? But I put garlic in mine where he doesn't. I brought it to him and I said, here. And it just so happened to be that all the managers from all the other stores and owners were there, along with their executive chef. And they all had a chance to try it and put it on pulled pork sandwiches and stuff. And they loved it, And I wasn't doing that for me. So 2 weeks later, they're advertising on social media that they now have a bacon and onion marmalade, or I think the jam, they called it jam, So I was able to help them, I hope, and inspire them to, hey, you can really elevate this business by just doing these little things, So I'm excited for them. They're just good people,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, that and social media in this day and age goes a long way with everything.
It does, and there were so many comments and reactions from the public about it, and not one comment bad at all. So every chance I get, I blow them up.
Well, I got a question for you about social media.
Oh Lord, I just hired somebody to do it for me. But go ahead.
I want to talk about this furry kid of yours that should have his own page?
He actually has his own Instagram page.
Oh, does he really? That's awesome.
He does.
Well, introduce the world to him.
Hold on a minute. Let me go get him. I had to lock him in the bedroom because he wouldn't quit barking. He's like barking at every little noise. Give me a second. I'll go get him real quick.
Okay. So, Brad, how you doing today?
Oh, not too bad.
How was your weekend? Good?
It wasn't bad. Busy. I'm got a busier one this week. I got a to-do list that I'm giving myself a mile long of stuff around the house needs to get done. Spray weeds. Seems like after it rained, all the weeds in my driveway just shot up and all that good stuff.
Ours did. Hey,
Clean my garage.
Perfect spot right here for our
yes.
Edit.
That, and we're getting ready to go to Lebanon, Tennessee next week. Not this weekend, but next. So I gotta get ready for that.
Oh, that's right.
Too.
Yeah. This weekend's Memphis in May.
Yes, and then
Lebanon's after. There's Yogi.
Aw.
Hey, man. We'll say hi to him.
Hi, Yogi.
Hey,
is that a Labradoodle, or what
look
is
at
that?
the camera.
He won't. But I'll tell you what, if he's watching TV or something on my tablet and it's a dog, he goes, can't say that on here. He goes crazy. But see, he thinks somebody's over there right now because I said go say hi, and he's looking into the next room, trying to see where they are. Anyway, Yogi is August. He'll be 5. I've had him since he was 7 weeks old, and we have been through every imaginable amount of training that you can go through. Obedience training, temperament training, testing, and he's been certified in so many different things. It's pathetic. And then we started, some friends introduced me to what they call Fast Cat, which is where they pull a plastic bag or two down a stretch of 100 yards. And basically you're competing against the clock and with other dogs. And he's earned several titles in his racing. He hits about, I was telling Brad this earlier, he hits right about 30 miles an hour in full stride. And I mean, he's really fast. He's long. He's lanky. He runs really like a deer, honestly. And then the next thing I started was I was in North Carolina and I was looking for something to do on the weekend. And I was hanging out with my brother and I saw that just like 10 miles away, they had dock diving. I'm like, well, we've never done that before. So we went and we took a lesson. And then in 2 weeks, we went back to do the competition. And he did so well. He was hitting 17 feet from the landing all the way to the back of his back, his back hit, where his tail starts. And anyway, so he hit that 17, and then he stopped running. I had paid for every jump, like $25, $30 a jump. Okay. And he would run up to the edge and just stop. I'm like, really? Came all this way to do this? No. So I pulled him out of the competition when he wouldn't jump anymore. We get back to my brother's house, and that's all he wanted to do was run and jump in the pool. He wouldn't do it there, but he would do it at his house. Well, I'm telling you, it was frustrating. But you know what? He's a dog, and it is what it is, you know. So the next venture we started doing was, well, I got him certified. We went through several tests to have him certified as a therapy dog.
Mm-hmm.
So we do hospice. We're signed up with a hospice agency locally, hospital throughout Mississippi and I'm sure other states. But when they need a therapy dog to come and visit with patients and stuff, or go to someone's house who's in hospice, or they'll call me, you know. And then we started doing scent work, and he's placed numerous times doing the scent training and stuff. So we stay busy, but all that's fixing to come to a halt, or maybe not a screeching halt, but it's going to slow down a lot when we. But he's everywhere I go. If I'm making deliveries and doing my own distribution, he'll be with me.
Yeah,
he goes everywhere I go. He wouldn't understand if I didn't take him,
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
all that anxiety or whatever when they're with you all the time, then it's like just a stop. You're gone, and they're wondering what's going on.
Brad, I took a bunch of friends. We went down to the coast to go on a fishing trip, and I asked my wife. I said, "You mind keeping Yogi for me? Because I really don't want to drop him off at my mom." And she said, "Yeah, I'll watch him." So their relationship at that point wasn't really that great, but they became really good friends since then. But she told me when I walked in the door from the fishing trip, she says, "Never again." I said, "What do you mean?" He said he wouldn't eat for a day. He just stared out the window all day looking for you. He wouldn't go to the bathroom. He wouldn't do anything. And then when I went to pet him, he snarled at me.
So do you take him fishing now?
I do. He goes on the boat with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you look at my Facebook page, that not that you have time, you'll see he's in the boat with me. Every time I go, now the other day there were 3 guys in the boat, so there was no way I had room for him, all the gear and stuff. So, but almost every single time I go fishing, he's in the boat with me.
I see like you and him in the boat, like a photo of it or something, but I thought that was just you're going to like a cabin that you guys had on a lake or whatever.
Yeah. No, he actually every time. I mean, I live on a lake in Mississippi, and when I go fishing, he goes with me. He gets in the boat. He keeps his eye out for the alligators for me.
Did you ever catch an alligator?
Too many. Too many. I've only actually legally caught one, helped catch one, I should say, last year. And matter of fact, I just grilled some alligator up 2 or 3 nights ago. I did some chicken.
I saw that.
And alligator, and the rest of them, I just, I'll be fishing and they'll be chasing my lure or whatever. And sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. But I always make sure that they get off safely. Did
With
you know
22 in the head?
No. No, I love those things, man. They have, since they've come into our lake, our snake population is almost nothing.
That's awesome.
I mean, we were seeing cottonmouths like crazy, and years ago, and now that all these alligators have come in since the Pearl River flooded, they've come over to us, and I think they're there to stay. Once they get over 8 foot or so, sometimes the alligator hunter, they call them, the wildlife and fisheries will hire them to come get them out. But we haven't had to have that happen in a while. Now, I can tell you, I can take you back there right now and show you some 10, 12-foot gators, but they're not bothering anybody. They stay away from the yards. The little ones, the 4, 5, 6 footers, get up in your yard. So that's the only reason why I have a fence, is because of him. I don't want them coming through the fence or coming into the yard, so.
I was going to say, I'm not sure whether I'd rather have cottonmouth or gators, though. I'm not sure gators are good great.
Well, with the fence, I'd be good with gators, because if I don't have a fence, I pee outside, and I really don't want them looking at my little chicken.
We're going to
After Dark.
Going to After Dark with Addicted to the Q. Hey, look, there's nothing more satisfying than standing out back and going.
Yeah. I lived on a farm growing up. That's how we did it.
Well, I wasn't on a farm, but we were in the country, so the same way.
I don't electric fences, though.
Don't do that.
No.
I live in the city now. I don't enjoy it too much, that part of it. But.
Funny. Wow.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, I see a lot. I mean, obviously we're friends on Facebook and all that stuff, and I follow you. But yeah, I see your posts, and I didn't know like you took them on your tournament fishing, like all that stuff. I didn't know all that was all that. I thought it was just, he's out on the boat with me. We're fishing again. Speaking of fishing, you and I had a conversation. You were wanting to do like a video or something, kind of like your catch and eat. Catch, fillet, cook, eat. Have you done an episode of that yet? Or
Have not. I have not. The closest I came so far was a few days ago, or probably that was yesterday, but I didn't do it. I was going to, and I'm like, no, I chickened out. So, but yes, you're right. From basically farm to table, you know, and
water to table, but yeah,
water to table, exactly. I don't know. They got some nice cows right around the corner in the farm I saw the other day.
Well, I mean, farm to table. But yeah, you should just like so a couple short little videos like you and Yogi out there fishing, and then once you get one hooked, set it back up to where you're reeling it in, and then just to where you can splice them together.
Oh yeah,
I think it'd be cool.
You're right, and the thing is, I don't have the equipment to do that with the video and myself yet. I'd have to have somebody there doing it, which can be done. And then, of course, I've got the cooking down pat. So, but that's a great idea, and I'm gonna do that. I just need a little bit more time.
Get one of the teams that you're competing against, slide them $100 bill not to fish, just to videotape.
There you go. That's funny. That's
two birds with one stone.
Actually, I'm not. It's funny. This competition is not teams against teams. I guess it is, but it's not. But what they did was in two lakes, in two really large lakes in Alabama, they released 275 fish in each lake, Smith Lake and Lake Martin. And Lake Martin's twice as big as this lake, and this lake is got over 500 miles of shoreline. Okay?
Jesus.
It's huge. It's like 22,000 acres is what I understand.
Wow.
Anyway, so what they did was they released them, and they all have tags on them. Right now, from the beginning, at this lake that I'm at, only one person has turned a tag in. And not that doesn't mean that other tagged fish haven't been caught, because the guy that came and installed our live scope on the boat a few weeks ago, it was end of March. He's the one who told us about the competition. So we looked at each other and we said, we're signing up. It's like $128. Okay. Turns out the next day he hadn't signed up, and he caught it. He had to throw it back. Can you believe that? So the first 5 fish, what they do is they take the tags that are turned in, they throw them into a hat, basically, and they raffle them out. So the first one that comes out is worth $1 million. Okay. The 50-year annuity, which is $20,000 a year, basically. Okay. Then you got a $60,000 pontoon boat, a $60,000 truck, and 2 bass boats, each valued at $60,000. And then every tag that doesn't win one of those prizes is guaranteed $1,500. Yeah.
I think we're moving.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been fishing my butt off, and I've caught so many bass. I ain't got no tag yet. Every time I call my wife back home, first question out of her mouth is, "Did you get a tag today?"
Don't come home till you do.
Well, I'm starting to feel that way, But it's just I've fished my whole life, and I've never been able to really fish this lake successfully because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I just started asking some of the guides and some of the people that are here, "What are you catching them on? What are you doing? Where are you going? Not exactly where you go, but are you fishing points? Are you fishing the rocks? Where are you? What are you doing?" And they would share what baits they're using and stuff like that. So I can't tell you, I've spent almost $1,000 in bait stuff, and I've been tearing them up. Okay, but I ain't got no tags yet.
Man, I wish Kevin Hesse was on this episode. We might have to get him back on to where Kevin can talk to you. He lost his dad this year, I believe it was, over winter.
Yep.
And he went up to Omaha to help do a garage sale. His dad was a huge, huge fisherman. I think he said he had like $16,000 worth of gear.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow. That's a lot.
I'll get you and Kevin. We'll get you guys back on. We'll do another little episode.
Well, I would like to do that. Once the business is up and running and going and everything, I would love to do that. And I'm sure that'll help promote. Like I said, I just hired a digital marketing company to do all of get my platforms and everything squared away for me. I have no computer sense at all. I'm surprised I could get on this call.
That's Brad.
Yeah.
He's our
okay.
A lot of people say, Kim, why don't you just go get that 15-year-old? I'm like, no, 15 will get you 30.
That's Mr. Tech guy right next to me here. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm not as good as I used to be. I talk to some of these guys that are in college now, and oh my God, I'm like, I used to know how to do that kind of crap, but you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
Well, I never used it. I never had to. I was a cop. And we didn't do a lot of it. Very minimal. But anyway.
Yeah,
so what do y'all got planned?
What's that?
We'd love to have you back on when you launch.
Well, I appreciate that, Brad. I really do. I was going to say, what do y'all got planned for the rest of the evening? Anything? Bed?
Usually it takes me 30 minutes or so to unwind after doing one of these, 30 minutes to an hour, and then I usually.
Well, since I'm the weird one,
at least
I'm gonna go watch the 4th installment of The Mockingjay from the Hunger Games.
Oh, nice.
I love that series.
Have you read Songbirds, the other books she's written?
No, I think they're making a movie out of it, though. I think my wife told me.
Did you watch the Divergent series?
Yes, I did.
I haven't watched the last one. I've watched the first two. I've read all of them. I know how it ends, though, so I'm not really looking forward to the last movie to watch, though. It's kind of an uneventful ending.
I'm a big, fighter type movie. I'm waiting on The Beekeeper to come out. I like Jason Statham.
I watched it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's great. We rented it a few weeks ago.
I got to see that one. I like Jason Statham.
I love him.
I'm like, man, I gotta see that one. I've been going through Netflix and Prime and Hulu, watching all these fighting movies. I'm about done, man. I've gotten all the way back to Bruce Lee Wing Chun movies. I'm like, man, what am I doing?
Yep. I keep telling my wife we just need to cancel Netflix. It's like, I don't know, $21, $22 now. It started out, it was $8 a month.
Yeah.
And they keep going up, and I'm like, when you cancel it, she says, no, this is what I watch. I watch all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I don't. I watch them all in one day, and then there's nothing new for a while,
Well, that's me, but that's why I look at all the cooking shows they have to get inspired. I mean, hence the tofu burn-ins.
Look, I'm going to tell you, I have been through every cooking series, barbecue competition series, everything I can find on Netflix, Prime, and YouTube. I've watched them all. I started watching backyard stuff, backwoods stuff, just because it was there to watch, but I've watched every single competition with Mo and what's that white-headed guy's name? Byron, yep. Myron, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
You just said the white-headed guy. No offense, Myron, if you ever watched it.
I didn't mean any offense by that, because I'm going to tell you what, guys, when I started barbecuing, it was probably right after I retired, somebody gave me my first smoker, and it was a Masterbuilt 30-inch electric smoker, and it lasted about a year, and before it went out. and I put it out on the road, and I missed that thing. And I was like, you know what, Ken, if you're going to do this, and meat is expensive, if you're going to do it, you better learn how to do it. So I started watching all these pros, Tuffy and the rest of them, and oh my gosh, guys! And the things that I've learned is just immeasurable, from these guys. And the thing is that there's it's like any job. There's standards that are just straight down the line, and then you start playing with your own stuff, your own taste and methods and stuff. But who was that? Slap Your Daddy, Harry Soup. Oh my God. Y'all, I've watched him cook so many briskets and do it, rub the paper with beef tallow, and just, I've tried so many. And there's one on Susie Bullock, Hey Grill Hey.
Yep.
So I have watched so many videos and then tried their methods. That I've gotten to the point to where I don't know what else to do. I mean, I think, and I'm not bragging or anything. I think I've almost perfected almost everything you can do. Now, I'm talking about backyard, not competition. Because people come and they keep coming back. Saying, I want more of this. Can you do this for us? Can you do that for us? And it's almost a business if I wanted it to be. But
well, like Tuffy wasn't he like a chef in the French cuisine, or he was something before he got into barbecue? Were you doing any of that, like when you were still as an officer or anything? Were you big into cooking at all?
I grew up cooking. I've worked in several restaurants. My family owned a restaurant. My mom would leave something in the sink to thaw, and she'd say, "This is what I want for supper. Figure it out," And I would. And we would have dinner. There's 8 of us, So I started cooking. I guarantee you I was probably 12 years old or younger, All of us cooked, all the kids, and it was just a lot of fun cooking. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know that there's anything more that I enjoy doing more than cooking.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be grilling or barbecue. It can be anything. Give me a challenge, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it until I master it, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. I just get kind of bored, after, you do so many briskets and pork butts and ribs and chicken and turkeys. You just there's no challenge anymore.
That's how it's getting to be with YouTube. After a while, you run out of videos to make because you run out of ideas to have to make videos on. So you have to watch other YouTube people to try to think about halfway getting ideas.
Well, that's why they also said when we do the research, like go back over what you already done and do it again.
Yeah.
That way it's
sure.
You did this last year, do it again this year, but do something different. But it's still, to Brad's point, it gets boring because then you're just like you're eating it again. No, I mean, I'll do it once a year, yeah.
Right.
But as much as we cook, it's like
I'm ready for your tofu Grand video.
And I didn't tell you all this earlier, but I said I couldn't eat much. I can't eat much. I had bariatric surgery 5 years ago, so my stomach is the size of a small banana, very small banana. So I can't eat a lot. I can eat maybe a handful of food. And everybody says, "Well, Ken, what do you do with this food?" And I'm like, "I give it away." And they're like, "Can I be your neighbor?" And what doesn't get old or boring is the smiles on their faces when you bring them a rack of ribs and say, "Here, enjoy," or "Here is a casserole that I made one extra for y'all." That's to me, me and my neighbors and all of us, the whole area is we're just good friends. If they need something, I've taught so many of them how to use their smokers. Almost probably every other weekend, someone new is at my house saying, "Hey, how do I do this? How do I cook ribs? How do I do this? My wife just bought me a smoker," So I just enjoy doing it. And I don't want to do that as a business, but I do want their business to buy my rubs,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, once I get these back, I'm hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that they're perfect. and we'll go to market.
That'd be awesome, though. That'd be awesome. I know next time I make my way down to Mississippi, I'm going to bring a cooler. I'm going to come by, see you, and we're like, Ken, I need you to show me how to do something. You're going to look at your wife and be like, that's Mr. Sofa King. I ain't teaching him crap.
Well, I tell you, to me, you guys are the backbone of barbecue by doing everything you do. And if there is one single thing that I could ever do to help you guys, I'm going to do it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
And I reached out to you a while back and said, hey, I'm getting into this rub business. I need some advice. And you opened the door for me. But we've been friends for I think 4 years now on Facebook and going back and forth. And so it's a pleasure to really actually be able to sit down with you. And I can't wait to come to Missouri one day and see you guys in person.
Well, when you come up here, holler. I know when we make our way back down there, I'll holler at you. We want to hit Gulf Shores again. I know it ain't that close to you, but
well, Gulf Shores is only probably a 3-hour drive.
Well, shoot, next time I head that way, I'll holler at you too.
Yeah, it's not far. There's a lot of things in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Pensacola, Fort Walton, all those. I grew up going to all those as kids because it was just so close to get there,
Did you ever surf down there?
Sir, me?
Yeah.
I'm too uncoordinated. I'm lucky to get up on one ski when I was a kid.
Well, it's got 50. We got about 50. We're at about 57 minutes, Brian. Just to give you a heads up. So.
Oh, gotcha. What kind of cookers you got at home?
Oh my God! How many do I have, or how many have I bought, mastered, and sold? I can't tell you. My wife came to me one day. She says, "Why do you need 7 smokers?" And they were all 7 different kind of smokers. I said, because there's only one way I'll ever be a good pit master, and that's to know every type of smoker, every type of flavor, every type of wood smoke, everything. And if I'm not doing it, then I can't say that I'm a pit master, and I want to be a pit master. So I have got what?
I got it for you. I just did it. Smoked ice cream. I literally did it over Mother's Day weekend.
I saw that.
Pecan caramel smoked ice cream.
Where is the YouTube video for that?
Yeah, where is it?
Well, that was my first try.
Well, recreate it this weekend. Do another YouTube video.
I will recreate it. I got a comp June 15th that is Smoker's Choice, and that's going to be my entry for Smoker's Choice. So I will be recreating it.
That is going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome.
I'm trying to figure out, caramel can freeze a little, like tack up and solidify.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get it. I put it on my ice cream way too soon, so the ice cream kind of has like little shoots coming through the caramel, which ticks me off. So I gotta play with it a little bit more before it's beautiful for a photo. I'll get
Tofu Birds in to be there. Well, we're basically out of time, Brian. So
we are.
Well,
gentlemen, thank you. It's been an honor.
Thank you for your time, for sure. It's good talking barbecue with you.
And
when you get the barbecue guy, if you ever know that guy and meet him, if you get him running, let us know. We'll get you back on. I'll make sure we get the bum on with us that time. And he would love to talk fishing with you. I know his dad loved it.
Yep.
So that's awesome. All right, gentlemen. Thank you a lot. And look forward to talking with y'all again.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, guys. Good night.
Night.